the first one is reach in. Don't expect people to reach out. They won't. So, you got to pick up the phone. You got to knock on the door, because if you say, oh, call me if you need me, there's not gonna, because they feel shame. They feel stigma. My brain in that moment is saying, why should I be on the planet? Why would I waste their time? Why would anyone want to spend time with me? You're not going to reach out. So the people who want to be an ally need to reach in. So that's the first thing. And even I have to remember that. Like, a friend of mine was feeling depressed recently, and I just said to him, I said, oh, Paul, call me when you need me. And then I realized, no, he's not going to call you.
Mm-hmm.
So thing one. Thing two is, and I know you know this, but it's listen without judgment, just presence. Don't try to fix it. You can't. People like, my brothers are guys and they want to fix things and they're good-hearted, but you're not going to be able to fix it. And that may be frustrating, but basically what you're doing is just showing up, and you're accompanying this person with your love and presence.
Mm.
And that is huge, because it's like they've been living in this island of isolation and despair, and you're showing up as like a lifeline. So you can't imagine how powerful that is, just to be present. Go for a walk. Don't even say anything.
Mm.
So that's the other thing. But then for the people who can't, they really can't do that, because they've got to do something.
It's hard. It's a hard thing to do.
Right? Okay, you have things to do, because then I say just do it as number 3, because we can get into this more. But for me and other people like me at this point, the brain is not capable of doing stuff, the simplest tasks. So it's like, you do the laundry, you fill the freezer, you pick up the kids, you make the phone call to the doctor. They can't find the phone number. You drive them to the doctor. They won't be able to figure out how to get there. So the very simple cognitive things that you think, of course they can, they can't. I described in a TED Talk I did this like situation. I'm in the aisle of a grocery store and there's 4 peanut butters, and I'm completely overwhelmed and paralyzed, because I can't figure out how the frick to pick which peanut butter. There's too many variables. It's overwhelming. So I need somebody else to pick the peanut butters.
Yeah.
So that's the third thing. And then the last one is, you have to create a posse, a support team for you, because you cannot do this alone. It's too much for any one person. You'll burn out.
Mm.
But then the good news about that is you have community. You build community amongst the folks who are helping. And the next day when one of you needs it, the community is there.
I love that. I also really love the way that you're encouraging people to think about what depression is as a beast. It's a trickster. It lies. It really helps us lie to ourselves in terms of the way we understand the world and our cognitions. And then I also liked the way that, you really, nailed how much cognitive impact with the peanut butter example depression has. I mean, peanut butter is peanut butter. You would have, your usual undepressed brain would be like, it doesn't matter. Walk out with some peanut butter. If it's crunchy or smooth, big deal. Right. The depressed brain is like, it's the biggest issue in the world is the peanut butter.
Right. And then you're flooded with shame because you're in public and you can't figure it out. Yeah. Or, in the house, you can't do dishes. They pile up. You can't do laundry. It piles up. And then there's a whole bunch of shame associated with that. So you don't want people to come over, but you need them to come over because you're desperate for company. It goes on, and it's really terrifying. I mean, and it's just horrible, because a lot of folks, we've done a bunch of interviews for the film, and it turns out people with bipolar typically are above high functioning average. That's the good news, like in terms of like capacity to get stuff done and cognitively. So for us, the delta is really huge. Like, to go from being very high functioning to not being able to choose peanut butters, it's horrifying. Mm. And it's scary because you don't believe, your brain is telling you you're never going to get out of it.